Picture two identical doors in the same hallway. Behind door number 1 lives a guy making $95,000 a year. Behind door number 2, a woman making $52,000. You'd assume the first neighbor is winning, but if you look inside, you'll see exactly why high incomes often trap people in poverty while modest earners quietly get rich. Walk into the first apartment. It's stuffed. There's a massive 75-inch TV dominating the wall, and a $4,000 leather sectional that takes up half the living room. The closets are bursting with clothes that still have tags on them, and the spare room is basically a storage unit for boxes of someday projects. But look closer at the owner. He's exhausted. He's stressed. Despite the high salary, he has zero margin. 2 missed paychecks result in total financial collapse because every dollar is tied up in maintaining this inventory of stuff. Now, step into the second apartment. Same layout, but it feels huge. There's a modest couch, open floor space, and a closet with just enough well-worn clothes. The owner here isn't worried about layoffs. She has 18 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account and invests 20% of every paycheck. She isn't lucky, she just understands the math of accumulation. This isn't about how much money you make, it's about the silent killer of wealth called lifestyle drag. The difference between these two lives is a single realization. Everything you buy costs money twice. First, you pay the sticker price at the register. That's the easy part. But the second cost is the one that keeps you broke. This is the cost of storage, maintenance, insurance, cleaning, and mental energy. When you fill a house with things, you are effectively paying rent for those objects to live with you. Every square foot of your home has a price tag attached to it. If you are paying rent or a mortgage, calculate the cost per square foot. If you fill a spare room with junk you never use, you aren't storing assets. You are paying a monthly premium to house liabilities that depreciate every single day. Let's look at the hard numbers. Say you buy a treadmill for $2,000. You use it for a month, and then it becomes a clothes rack. If housing in your city costs $2 per square foot, and that machine takes up 25 square feet of floor space, including clearance, you are paying $600 a year just to keep it. Over 5 years, that asset cost you $5,000. It's worse for toys like boats. The industry rule is that a $30,000 boat costs 10% of its value every year just to sit in the water. That's $3,000 annually vanishing into thin air. Visual clutter spikes cortisol, clouding your judgment, while that $15,000 of gear sitting in your garage is actually $1 million of lost retirement growth. Minimalists don't avoid buying things because they are cheap. They avoid clutter because they have run the calculations on the true cost of ownership. They value their freedom more than the inventory. Once you stop paying rent for your stuff, you start building equity for yourself. But to do that, you have to understand the trap I showed you when I asked you to stop guessing what you own and start counting right now. You think you know your inventory, but you are wrong by a factor of 5. This is Rule 5, the hard audit. Most people estimate they own 10 shirts, but actually find 47 stuffed in the back of the closet. That is thousands of dollars in wasted capital. It feels obsessive to count, but you cannot manage what you do not measure. Go to your junk drawer or your kitchen gadget shelf. Pull everything out. Seeing the sheer volume of forgotten money sitting in dust is the only way to break the trance of consumption. Once you see the waste, apply Rule 6, rent or borrow before you buy. Your home is likely a museum of past enthusiasms. Abandoned ski gear, dusty cameras, bread makers used once. We buy the identity of a skier or photographer before doing the work. Stop funding your fantasy self. Rent the gear first. If you use it 10 times, you earn the right to buy it. Otherwise, you are just paying for storage. This prevents Rule 7 from destroying your finances. The lifestyle multiplier effect. Purchases are never isolated. You buy a boat, now you need a trailer, then a hitch, then storage fees, then insurance. One purchase triggers a cascade of recurring costs. But this works in reverse. Kill one major asset and you kill the ecosystem of costs attached to it. Simplify the root and the branches die off. To keep those savings, you must master Rule 8. Define enough before you get the raise. If you don't set a finish line, the goalposts move every time your paycheck grows. This is the hedonic treadmill. Earning $150,000 feels like poverty if your spending automatically inflates to match it. But if you lock your lifestyle satisfaction at $60,000, every extra dollar buys freedom, not just nicer furniture. That freedom is Rule 9. Measure wealth by optionality, not accumulation. Your net worth isn't the equity trapped in a McMansion you can't sell. Real wealth is the ability to walk away from a toxic boss tomorrow because your expenses are low and your liquidity is high. Optionality is the only luxury that actually reduces stress. High overhead destroys your ability to take risks. Finally, Rule 10. Cyclical decluttering. Stop doing massive, exhausting annual purges. They don't work because they are reactive. Instead, use this proactive framework. This week, try the 10-item replacement test. Nothing comes in unless 10 things go out. This month, enforce a strict 24-hour wait on all non-essential purchases to kill impulse buying. This quarter, physically count one category of clothing. And this year, write down your specific number for enough. Money and minimalism are the same muscle. When you address financial insecurity by saving aggressively, the compulsion to surround yourself with stuff dissolves. You stop buying to soothe anxiety because the bank account does that for you. If this clarity helped you, hit like and subscribe to finally level up your financial mindset. Ultimately, the choice is simple. You either own your possessions or they end up owning you. Which brings us back to why you must stop looking at the price tag. That number is a lie. You need to look at the cost per use. This is the only metric that matters. You see a $400 jacket and your brain screams, expensive. But if you wear that jacket 200 times over 3 winters, the price is actually $2 a wear. Now compare that to the bargain $200 trendy coat you bought, wore twice to a holiday party, and shoved in the back of the closet. That cost you $100 per wear. You are bleeding money on cheap things because you don't do the math. Marketing sells you the acquisition, but your wallet lives with the usage. Apply this to your mattress. You spend 8 hours a night there. A cheap mattress ruins your back. A quality one costs pennies per hour. Stop being penny wise and pound foolish. Now, stand up and walk through your home for Rule 2, the replacement test. Look at the objects cluttering your shelves. Ask yourself this brutal question. If this item disappeared today, if it burned in a fire or got stolen, would I spend actual money to replace it? Look at that dusty fondue set. Look at the bread maker collecting dust on the counter. Look at the clothes from 3 years ago that still have tags on them. If you wouldn't buy them again today, they are not assets. They are anchors. They exist only through inertia, taking up physical space in your home and psychological space in your mind. Eliminate them. The guilt you feel looking at them is a tax you pay every day. This leads directly into the biggest wealth killer in America. Rule 3. Never upgrade out of boredom. We have been brainwashed to think functional means broken just because a newer version exists. This is wealth destruction disguised as progress. If your phone makes calls and runs apps, it works. If your car gets you to work safely, it works. Replacing a functional car or phone just because you want the new features or the status symbol is financial suicide. The average American wastes $200,000 over a lifetime on these unnecessary upgrades. That is not just spending, that is robbing your future self of compound interest just to impress strangers at a stoplight. Finally, stop relying on willpower. You are not strong enough to fight billion-dollar marketing algorithms. You need Rule 4. Create friction for spending and ease for saving. Willpower fails when you are tired or stressed. Systems do not. Delete the shopping apps. Remove your saved credit card numbers from the browser. Make it so painful to buy something that you have to walk across the room, find your wallet, and type in 16 digits manually. On the flip side, automate your savings. The money must leave your checking account the second it hits. If you have to manually transfer it to savings, you will find a reason not to. And for anything over $50, impose a strict 24-hour waiting period. The dopamine rush of a purchase fades in a few hours. By forcing a wait, you kill 70% of impulse buys instantly. But even with these barriers in place, there is one obsessive habit you haven't started yet: